Hello everyone, welcome back to another very interesting module of computer networks course. This is security. So when we say security in computer networks, what do we mean exactly? When we say security, we mean three things. That is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. When we say security, it means these three things. What is confidentiality? Confidentiality means whatever we say on the network should only be read by whoever we intended to. Let's say I'm sending an email to, let's say I'm sending an email to my relative. Okay. Now only the relative should be able to read that email. No one else should know anything about that email. Integrity. What do we mean by integrity? Let's say I'm sending the same email to my uncle and I'm saying, hello, uncle. And let's say someone in the middle changes this hello and says some curse words, something. And the relative will receive that message and he thinks it came from me. So this should not happen, right? We should have integrity when we are doing anything on the internet. And then we have something called availability. The services we use should be available. That is, whenever we try to access something, it should be available. That is part of security. Let's see how these things are compromised. So, confidentiality. Let's say we went to our friend's house and we are connected to his Wi-Fi. Okay, and we are sending all our messages from our phone to his Wi-Fi, to his router. Now he can make some software and he can snoop all the packets. He can snoop all the data I'm sending, because I'm sending a message, let's say hi, an email. This email will go through this router, right? And our friend has full control over the router. He can do whatever he wants. So he can snoop. He can see, he can get the packets and see what is going on. And this is called snooping. He can also see how frequently we are sending data. If we are sending an email, that's barely maybe kilobytes, right? Maximum of kilobytes. Even if you type pages, it is like 5 KB. Let's say 5 KB. An email is 5 KB. But if you are downloading something, then the downloads will be, let's say you're downloading a movie. Now the downloads will be in megabytes and gigabytes, right? He can see the frequency of how much the data is being used, and he can see that, okay, he's downloading something. But what I do on my phone or my computer should not be visible to him. So that is breach of confidentiality, right? So confidentiality is also breached by packet analysis. Not packet analysis, it is traffic analysis. Let's say we are also using ISPs, right? Let's say we are using Geo. We are sending all our data through Geo. If we are downloading something at 5 o'clock, or let's say at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Let's say we are downloading something in 7 p.m. and we are doing it for 10 minutes. 7 p.m. and we are doing it for 10 minutes on a basic interval. Like this is our daily habit. Now Geo, the ISP will know that every 7 p.m. he is watching something, right? He can do some traffic analysis and figure out what we are doing. That is again breach of confidentiality. This should not happen, right? So that is some ways of breaching confidentiality. Now we'll see how we are losing integrity as well. The same person, we are using our phone, we are connected to our friend's Wi-Fi network, and I'm sending a message to someone saying that saying something. Now let's say this friend intercepts that message, and what he sees is he modifies the message. He modifies it to something he requires, and now the recipient gets it and he thinks, okay, I've sent such a message. Let's say Yeah, think of some situation, right? Let's say I'm saying I'll be on leave for this day, so we are notifying our employer. Now this friend, he doesn't like us and he modifies that email to a different date. Now the employer thinks that I've applied leave on this date, X date, and this guy has modified our email to Y date. So this should not happen, right? So modification can be done. Then something called masquerading. The same story. I'm sending an email saying that I'll be on leave, and this our friend is blocking that email. He's just catching the packet and is not sending it to our employer because we are connected to his router and we're sending all data through his router, right? So he can also masquerade. He can also stop all the services. Okay, so that's possible. Let's say another way of reducing the integrity of the messages by replaying. Let's say I have five pens. I have five pens, writing pen, and I'm saying I'm selling a pen. I'm posting it on something. Okay, I've sent the message on at 6 p.m. Now, what my friend can do is he can preserve these packets. He can send them the message, and he can also make a copy of this message, and he can replay this message at 8 p.m. Now I'm selling two pens, but this message did not come from me, right? So he can also replay these things. So these things can happen in internet when we are connected to some Wi-Fi network or some network, because we don't own the whole infrastructure, right? We are depending on someone to provide us internet access. We're either relying on Jio or Airtel or any internet service provider, or we are relying on some person to provide us all these things. And whatever we say, it should preserve integrity. It should not be modified or masqueraded, or it should not be replayed or nothing. Then also things should be available. Let's say we own a server. We own let's take pepcoding for example. We have pepcoding.com, and this pepcoding.com should be available always, right? What people can do is they can do something called a DOS attack, denial of service attack, or commonly it is called DDoS, distributed denial of service attacks. What they can do is they can spam the server. Let's say this server is able to handle 10 lakh requests. Now what they can do is some five people can come together, create some computer program, and they can spam this server billions of times, crores of times. Now this server will get overloaded and it can also crash, right? So it is becoming not available. So when legitimate people try to access it, it is not being accessible. So it should also be available. So when we are talking about internet security, we need to guarantee all these things. We need to guarantee confidentiality, that whatever we do on our phones, no one should be able to see what we are doing, what we are sending, what we are talking. We should also guarantee integrity, that no one should be able to modify our messages, no one should be able to modify whatever we do, and the system should also be available. So that's the basic premise of security. How can we solve these issues? That is what we are going to study in this chapter. So how can we how can we solve these issues? For confidentiality, we can solve it by using something called encryption or cryptography. We'll see how encryption is done. But if a friend sees our message, he should not be able to understand what is going on. If I'm sending hello, I should encrypt in such a way that even if he reads it, he should not be able to figure out what is going on. So that can be done using confidentiality, can be guaranteed using cryptography. Integrity can also be guaranteed using cryptography and various other hashing functions. We'll discuss all that. And availability. Availability is guaranteed by something like firewalls. firewalls, and some preventive protocols, which will be discussed in later modules. Okay, so that if we detect a DDoS attack, we can just block all those requests so that our server is not getting overwhelmed. All right, so that's it for the introduction of this course. In the next video, we'll see something about ciphers in cryptography. All right, I'll meet you in the next one. Thank you.